Hi guys, it's reaction time. We've got Helloween and Universe. So Helloween, obviously a massive deal in the metal world. I was a big fan of Helloween back in the day. I haven't really followed them religiously through the years, for sure. So I'm a massive fan of Helloween. I was a big fan of the Keeper albums. Well, some of it. I'm torn between, I really like the heavier, sort of darker stuff. Not so much the more, I don't want to say happy. Don't want to say happy at all. More sing-along stuff, I suppose, you know, which really, they were almost the start of power metal, weren't they? It could be argued that they created power metal. But even in power metal, there's lots of different, you know, genres within power metal. You've got darker power metal. You've got the more sing-along power metal, like I said. I don't know how to say it. I don't want to say cheesy either. I don't want to say happy. I sort of almost sing-along. You know what I mean? So already in trouble. So yes, Helloween. Even the last album, I liked some songs, and I was always split on it a little bit. So like them, not the biggest fan, but they are a big deal for metal in general. You know, they're a massive influence on a lot of bands, and I think it's very cool how, you know, they've got Michael Kiske back in the band, and they're, you know, I think that's what a cool way to do it, you know, nearing the latter part of your career, to get everyone together, you know, and I think it's very cool, actually. So yeah, almost 7 people is it in the band now, because of these changes. So 3 guitarists, which a lot of bands are doing now, of course. That's one thing I could say about Helloween. Musicians, absolutely amazing. I actually quite like the last song. I know it split fans a little bit, and it seemed weird single to bring out. I mean, this one's 8.5 minutes, so maybe it's more in line with the Helloween sound, that epic sound. Maybe there's only one way to find out. It's off the album Giants and Monsters, of course, August 29th this year. This is Helloween. This is Universe, in brackets, by the way, Gravity for Hearts. Here we go.
When the clouds in your mind break for heavy rain, no place to hide, bringing fear and pain. You know it's not too late. Keep up the faith. Keep up the faith. Keep up the faith.
Life takes its toll, but hope's an anchor evermore. We lose our compass in the dark. We take its spark, a star at heart. Life makes us fall, but failure breaks us even more. In unity we bound in space, going on and on and on.
I'm going to stop it there because it's a long song. We could get like a big solo here, so I don't really want to interrupt the solo like this sort of Helloween. So we got, this is obviously definitely more, you know, at the moment we hear a lot of Michael Kiske, obviously. In the first song it was Andy Darris mainly. I don't even think, I'm not sure if I heard Michael Kiske in that song at all, although he was in the video, maybe in the backing vocals. But, you know, as far as lead vocals were concerned, he wasn't in that at all. I love his voice, and he's in great form here, man. I mean, you could literally put this side by side with the beginning of his career, and for me, there's no difference, you know. So an absolutely amazing vocal performance by him. I love the production on this. I think it's a lot better than the last album. I can't remember who recorded and produced the last album, but for me, this is much clearer. I think the guitars are a bit buried in the last album. I couldn't, you know, sometimes when you've got 3 guitars as well, it's a little bit much. I think they've got the balance quite nicely on this album, by the sounds of it. 2 songs so far. Dennis Ward, of course, I already mentioned him in another reaction I did. What a great producer. So, you know, that's probably one of the reasons. I don't know if he was on the last album, but it's probably one of the reasons why this sounds good. Yeah, this is very fast, obviously, and Helloween do that a lot. But it's still got that darker feel. It's not that other power metal that I'm talking about that I'm not really into. This is definitely on the darker side, which I love Helloween when they do that. I think Helloween fans will be very happy. It is typical Helloween, and it's the side that I like much better. Although I'm not into fast music, I'm very, people who watch this channel will know, like, medium paced Helloween would probably just be my sweet spot, you know. And music in general, that medium pace I love. But there's no denying that, you know, man, musicianship, the speed they can play, the guitar work especially, there's some amazing technical play, you know, in this song, because that's what we expect of Helloween. Amazing musicians, they really are. But I really like it. I think it's really cool. We're hitting looks like a solo, but like a heavier, slowed down a little bit now. But no, it's really cool. I like that bridge to the chorus as well. Probably my favourite bit as it sort of ramps up to the chorus. So very cool song. Don't know where it's going to go from here. It's going to be, obviously, it's quite an epic song because it's 8.5 minutes. It's quite epic sounding as well. Yeah, I really like this one. This would be, at the moment, this would be, off the new album, one of the better songs for me of Helloween, for sure, off the new album. Like I said, not a massive fan of them, but they can really write a cool song sometimes, and I think this is a great song. Here we go for the rest.
Into the night, wonders of the world to rise. Make the darkness
Yeah, man. The guitar work was ridiculous. It was brilliant. I love it when they do. It's almost a signature sound of Helloween. You know, when they do that sort of dampened string. I love that, man. From the, you know, like I said, from the time I heard the Keeper albums and heard that in some of their epic songs, I was just, you know, it's just typical Helloween, but brilliant. Absolutely superb. Yeah, man. I think that'd probably be one of my favourite songs off the new album. Hopefully there'll be more like that. You know, that sort of darker, although it was really fast, it was really sort of that darker sort of feel. I think they're great sometimes. I really do. So Helloween, that was Universe, Gravity for Hearts. Remember the album, August the 29th. I shouldn't forget that. It's my birthday. So, yeah, August the 29th, Giants and Monsters. People waiting with great anticipation, waiting for that. A massive shout out to everyone in that band. Of course, you've got Michael and Andy Derris, of course, on vocals. Kai Hansen. Yeah, man, just brilliant guitars and some vocals. Maybe do some backing vocals on that one. I'm not really sure. Obviously, you can sing as well. And Michael Wyckoff and Sasha Gressner on the guitars also. Marcus Groboff, I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that correctly, on the bass, and Danny Lobel on the drums. Amazing musicians. And what's really cool about some of these, you know, classic bands is I think they're giving fans exactly what they want. You know, I mean, Helloween fans surely are going to be very happy with that song. You know, if you can keep up the quality of music. A lot of bands, the classic bands, do it now. They come back and give the fans what they want at the latter stages of the career, and I love that. What an amazing song that was. Let me know what you think of it in the comments below. See you soon.